The Torah portion of Vayechi is the final one in the book of Bereshit or Genesis. In this Parshah, the Jewish people are reunited as a family, especially with their long-lost brother and son Joseph, and they reside on a designated portion of land known as Goshen. From sufficient details the Torah provides, we can calculate the math on our own that the final 17 years of our forefather Jacob's life were spent in Egypt. Nevertheless, the Torah, which wastes no words, starts out with stating the obvious. Vayechi Yaakov, Jacob lived for 17 years until his death in Egypt. Why is this being stressed and emphasized? The Torah wants to make it clear to us that these final 17 years of his life were his golden years. Even in Golos, in exile, in the diaspora, out of the Holy Land where his essence was meant to be. Yaakov Avinu's life was fraught with struggles, tragedy, and tribulations. All the events in his life led to this period in Egypt. And they culminated and were woven together in this final destination. And his greatest loss and struggle, the very same object of his greatest source of bitterness, his son Yosef being in Egypt, became now the object of his greatest joy. Because Joseph was the reason Jacob came down to Egypt. And what was the cause for joy? Well, of course, he was reunited with his family, and the ultimate joy of fulfilling his divine purpose and spiritual potential. For until now, until coming down to Egypt, Jacob had not tapped into the full capacity of his soul. He did not actualize his divine potential. In Egypt, he and his family established a yeshiva, an academy of Torah learning, a center of divine wisdom. Through their presence in Egypt, the society was elevated, blessed for the better. They were influencers, not the influence. There is no greater joy than that of fulfilling our divine purpose. Jacob found out that these were his best years because he found the spark of divine potential and goodness, the purpose within his pain. What if we took a struggle in our own lives and we dug deep beyond what meets the eye, and we could unearth the potential for goodness, for transformation, for blessing within it? Perhaps it could draw us closer to our loved ones. Perhaps we could actualize our divine potential to bring light into our situation, into this world. What if in the eye of our own storm, we could discover that spark of divine purpose, peace, acceptance, fulfillment, light, and healing? It's there if we're ready to dig deep. Treasures unearthed. The most difficult times can be revealed to be our golden years, the best experiences of our life. Radical as it sounds, but we are given the capacity by God to transform our darkness into a source of light for Him, for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for the world.